Hello, good viber. How are you doing today? It is your girl Esther Joy. She's coming at you with another video. Mindset Monday. It's Mindset Monday. It's Mindset Monday. It's the time where we get our mindset right. And I'm outside, and I have really bad allergies, and there's literal pollen. Like if I just, if I just, if I just gently you see that? It's just a little bit of pollen. There's pollen everywhere. It's coating everything. Everything has pollen on it. And so that's something, but that's the point of this video. This video is here to remind you to make your mind a fun place to be. And what does that mean? Well, what's good, meditative Jews? Good to see you out here, fam. I feel like, as we get older, it's easy for us to focus on all of the limitations and responsibilities and everything that's going on in our lives, and our mind becomes this place where we have to dock, we gotta put our memories here, we gotta put all of our worries here, all of our anxieties here, we gotta put all of our responsibilities here, we gotta put our schedule here, our timeline, our how are we gonna survive, how are we gonna make money, how are we gonna care for our family, all of this stuff. And it becomes this place in our mind where for some people it's a scary place to be because it's overwhelming. There's just so much going on, and you don't want to dwell in there. And so I mean, lots of people turn to lots of different things to cope with not being in their mind, not being present with what's going on in their mind, because as I said, sometimes the box they just keep stacking up, and it's hard to process all of that and to go in there if it's not a fun place, right? So it's important that we're gonna do the work in this video today. If you hear, we gonna do the work, okay? Trust me, we're gonna make our mind a fun place to be. And what does that look like? That means that we're actively allowing ourselves to use our mind in a more enjoyable way. This doesn't mean that we totally disregard all of our responsibilities or things that are happening that our mind needs to process. It just means that we find a way to do it better because it's funner, and therefore we are more willing to put in more energy to get the result that we want. Okay, so yes. Now, kids are a great example of this. If you have a kid, if you work with kids, then you know that they are always looking for ways to make things fun. They just naturally look for ways to make things fun. They find new ways to use old things. So whether that is a bucket, they will find a million different ways to use a bucket, right? They'll use it as a hat, they'll use it as a shoe, maybe they'll put some dirt in it, maybe they'll use it as a house or something, or a drum. There are so many ways that kids use the things that are presented to them. And so what does this mean for our own mind? Well, kids also were blessed with something called neuroplasticity, and we're all blessed with neuroplasticity, but especially up until the ages of 7, when things start to settle down, their brains are super absorbent and active. That means they're just taking in all of the information with the world, everything. They're just sipping it up. I'm gonna sip this juice. And they're just allowing themselves to take it all in. And what's happening in their brain are making those connections of, oh, so for this bucket, do we use it for this, and there's a million ways that we see the mind is kind of expanding at this time. So what happens as we get older? What happens after 7? It starts to taper down. It's not like it ever goes away all of a sudden, but it starts to taper down little by little as we, teach children what to do, right? You don't think about this, or that's not how you do this is how you do it. And so the neuroplasticity in their brain starts to take more of a rigid structure. Now, instead of having a brain full of mush and a sponge easy to absorb, it becomes more stone-like. It becomes more carved into the pathways it's already created. And so what does this mean for us? Imagine that something super traumatic happens as a child. They look at what happens around them, how the world reacts to that, and they take that in. Now, guess what? That's something that we kind of grow up with. We take it in, we create this indent in our brain saying okay, this happened to you, and this is what, this is what we're going to do about it. This is how we're going to react. But this is something that follows through and continues through the rest of our lives because our brain, we're kind of lazy, right? It kind of runs on autopilot. It's just going to keep building from that point. So unless we actually have a little bit of curiosity and we can look at that situation, that same situation, with the new eyes and kind of remove some of the emotions, which emotions are a big part of how these connections in our brain are made and how we kind of remember them and the lessons that they caused, we gonna keep going in that direction, okay? And that's kind of not fun. Like, it's not fun if if somebody tells you this is how to have fun, this is the instruction manual of how to have fun, right? Fun is something that's spontaneous. It's something that allows you to tap into this energy of no expectations. It's not like you're like, I'm gonna have fun. You ever try to be like, I'm gonna have fun? Maybe you try to plan out a day with your friends and you're like, we're gonna have so much fun. Yeah, maybe it was fun. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe, because I've definitely planned out days where I'm like, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to do this. And then it's just not fun. It's like I forced myself. I put so much pressure to be in this emotional, energetic state. And that's just not how it is, fam. So what can we do to kind of position our mind in such a way where it is a fun place to be and that we do enjoy spending time and creating new connections? Well, we have to allow ourselves to, I know this is so simple, but it's like to enjoy the mundane things in life. So what does that mean? Well, we always are sensing things and it's easy for us to get up in our mind. So allow yourself to wait, like hold on before you go in your mind and you try to like sort out all these responsibilities. And just ask yourself, like, is there a fun way to do this? It's so crazy how questions just ignite like a new neural pathway because they're searching for the answers. Asking yourself the question, is this fun? Do I enjoy this? Is there a funner way to think about this? Can I, tap more into my curiosity? Because even with those lower vibrations of, let's say, anxiety or fear or guilt or just overall just dread, when we tap into this energy of curiosity and just asking ourselves, is there a funner way for me to process this emotion? And, we're not trying to force everything to be fun because sometimes things just need to be done. Sometimes we just need to be thinking of them. But we want to help our mind in the best way to think about things in a easy way, a way that doesn't take more energy. So we're thinking about how can we allow this flow and reduce the restrictions or resistance that is present. How can we kind of let that go? And there are a lot of fun ways to do this when we tap into our imagination. So if you need a little help, tap into your sacral chakras, tap into that creative flow of energy. For some people, they find it really fun to work with numbers. So maybe in your mind, you set a like, and when you see a certain number, maybe you think a certain thing. Like, honestly, the ways that you can connect your mind to the beauty of like just having fun in the world is awesome. I've been doing this a lot with like my emotions, if you must know, in terms of finding funner ways to process the ones that aren't so fun. Or when I make mistakes, having fun with it and seeing what can I learn from this mistake and kind of imagining the best case scenario of, okay, wow, it sucks that this happened and I made this mistake, but well, what have I learned? And now what can I do with what I learned? Like, what's the best case scenario of what I've learned with this information and how can I get the most value out of it? Does that make sense? So, like, yes. Oh, yes, my friend. Oh, yes. Tapping into that imagination more also has been for me looking at the limiting beliefs I have around like just talking to people, interacting with people in a certain way, and what resistance is coming up there. Sometimes my body doesn't want to be like, this is exactly what you're resisting, Esther. Sometimes I have to be a little playful. Sometimes I have to be like, oh, would I still be feeling this way if this? Would I still be feeling this way if this? What could I do to kind of enjoy myself? What's good, Jamin? Good to see you out here. And that's really like the beauty of allowing yourself to tap more into this playful energy. You can give yourself permission to make mistakes, and while you're at it, you'll also see that those mistakes have valuable lessons. A lot of the times when we're afraid to make mistakes or just go dwell in certain parts of our mind, focus on certain areas and bring awareness to what's going on in there, when we are fearful of making mistakes, then we need to check ourselves, because like, what are you afraid of? Making a mistake? Like, what are you afraid of? Like, I mean, some mistakes are life altering. That's fair enough. But also trust yourself. Trust yourself that you're going to do exactly what you need to do. Just like a child, like, they got to learn how to pour their own glass of juice at their own time. Yeah, they're probably going to make a mistake. Yeah, they're probably going to not miss the cup. But they need to do that in order to understand what to properly do, how to actually get the juice in the cup. So, yeah. I mean, juice boxes are awesome, but okay. So, what else have I been doing to kind of tap more into this playful energy or make my mind a funner place? Well, it's like a field, right? So when you meditate, you're just meditating, right? Like, some people, they meditate and their like goal is to just clear their mind, kind of like a vacuum cleaner. I'm thinking of, gosh, they're just vacuuming it, but then wherever their footsteps go, there's like, footsteps, so they got to turn around and vacuum that, and then they're going around in circles. And that's totally fine. There's many ways that you can clear and empty your mind in meditation. Well, one way that I found that's really fun is actually just kind of tapping more into, okay, I'm in this field, I'm in this empty zone where it's just my mind. And now I'm going to just see what pops up. What's coming through me? Sometimes it's not like, I don't know, quote unquote fun energy. It's not like, ooh, yay. Sometimes it's just like this. And sometimes just giving myself space to feel these things. And then, after I feel them, bring awareness to how powerful I am, because God has given me this life and I am connected to God, and God has given me power over the energy that is in my life, and also my mind and what I'm manifesting. And then I tap more into that energy, and then I really get to play. So after I just display everything that's on my mind, whether it's like, oh my gosh, family, health, bills, like school, responsibilities, all of this stuff, and then I just kind of, let it all out. I kind of remove some of the emotions that I may have imprinted very heavily on my mind. Let's just acknowledge that, wow, that hit me hard. I feel that a lot. There's a lot of emotions there. And then I'll just be a little playful. I'll kind of see, okay, where does my awareness want to go now that I've let everything out? Now that I've kind of acknowledged what's on my mind, where do I want to go from here? And how can I tap more into this creative energy of realizing I'm creating my reality, of being like, yeah, when I acknowledge I make those mistakes, I then get to learn the lessons. But I first have to be humble enough to acknowledge I made the mistakes. And guess what? When you're having fun, you're having fun. And you're not prideful of anything, because you're just there, just doing like kids. So allow yourself to have fun within your mind and realize how powerful of a mind you really have in terms of manifestation and creating the reality that you want. When you have those ideas and those thoughts that are worrying you, then you can acknowledge them and think of fun solutions and creative ways to direct that energy. If you truly have faith, you just need faith as much as a mustard seed, right? And it can move mountains. If you really have faith that, yeah, I am actually connected to like this all-encompassing force of source, and I am safe and I am loved and I am here for a mission, and the things on my mind are there for a reason, so let me think of the most creative and funnest way I can use that energy that's within my mind. I can direct and understand the solution that best suits me at this time. And again, we're not going to be meditating until like Tesla, we come up with a new free energy blueprint. But if it happens, it happens. We can allow ourselves to do this in our everyday life to better clear our mind and make it a funner place. So when those thoughts of resistance come up, where we might feel first that urge to run away because it's conditioned deep inside of our mind that that's bad and we need to like run away from it, we can first acknowledge it and be like, hey, what's going on here? We can pick it up. We can have that curiosity that almost eliminates fear, because now you're in this sphere of just not really caring that much. You just want to learn and have fun and realize that this life really is temporary, and most of the problems that we worry about really don't matter. And I know, it's hard to believe, because I'd be one of those people that be like freaking out every other day about things that I know don't matter. And sometimes I know I'm just freaking out about freaking out. And I know that doesn't matter. Lord have mercy. It sounds so ridiculous saying it, but when we allow ourselves to kind of be playful with this energy and realize it has a deeper purpose, then we can be a little bit more playful and loose with observing it and creating new solutions, because ultimately we're not just sitting with our thoughts and avoiding them because we don't like how they feel. Instead, we're acknowledging them and we're giving them that opportunity to fully unfold so that they can be released and realized in the physical reality in a good way. What's good, Isaiah? We can totally meditate in a little bit if you guys want, but if you have any questions, if anything within your mind, what have you been doing to make your mind a funner place? You know, what has been helping you tap more into the inner child which is within your own mind, and just tapping more into not taking the world as seriously, not taking your mind as seriously, because this is where it all begins. Like, all up in here, whatever's going on in our mind, right? Like, that's going to assist in the emotions that we feel, or the perspective and the meaning that we put to those emotions, as well as the actions that we take due to feeling a certain way that we may feel. So let me know what's going on in your mind. How are you making it a funner place? What parts are you wanting to make funner? I realized, like, a lot with finances. Like 3 years ago when I first started, like, I was meditating around 2 years before, but when I was working at my job and I was really thinking about, like, resigning, and I was freaking out, and because I was like, I don't have a plan, and I do have a plan, but I don't have faith in myself, and is this logically able to happen? Like, is this what people do statistically? Will this work out? Like, and all of this stuff, and that was just, like, plaguing my mind. And then eventually, what helped me tap more into that playfulness, other than meditating and bringing awareness to this, and just kind of listening to it, acknowledging it, not trying to run away from it, but, like, know that it has a higher purpose, and it's helping me process through what I'm thinking and what I'm eventually going to do. And then I realized, like, whoa, man, God started talking to me. It was like I opened up this little box that I was so afraid to open for so long, because I was scared it was gonna, like, something scary is gonna be in there, it's gonna attack me. It's gonna be like, you can't quit your job because and you gotta stay on this path and be miserable the rest of your life, something like that. And then, like, I opened this box within my mind one day when I was just meditating, and God was just like, hey, if you need help, here's some help. By the way, don't think about money, because if you believe in me, you'll be good. Just focus on me. If this is what you want to do, then do it, because you're not going to be alive forever. And you need to be clear on that. Like, if you want to spend your time doing something else, and give yourself opportunity to spend your time doing something else. And that took me months to process. Like, I wish I was like, okay, God, and I just, like, quit my job, and I was like, but it did take me, like, a good 4 or 5 months to process that fully, and every day I would kind of meditate on it. And every day, like, my grip on what I felt like was reality, what I felt like I needed in order to survive, it just loosened a little bit, because I saw that, oh, actually, God is taking care of me in so many ways. And more, I kind of released that, until eventually I was like, yup, I'ma go. And listening and just being is a good way to put it. I've been learning a lot lately with just being, and I'm so thankful, Isaiah. And N. Allegri, oh gosh, I butchered your name, fam, but thank you, right back at you. And that was a really big one, but then I started being, and right now I'm tapping more into having fun within my mind with some anxieties I was having with school and the whole pandemic and the whole like world, I had a lot of limiting beliefs that were paralyzing me. And when I mean paralyzing, they were actually paralyzing me. I couldn't even get out of bed. I was just freaking out a little bit. And now I'm coming into this place of being more playful with it. And it's kind of funny because it feels like a meme, right? Like when we look at memes and we look at the state of the world and we look at how we cope with what's happening in the world, we cope through the memes that we make. It's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful. We get to live in a world where these little top text, bottom text picture, like, that is enough to portray the depth of the energy happening on so many levels. So actually, the simpler it is and the more playful you are, the more powerful it is. And that's a big thing I've been learning, that, the more I tap into realizing, and calming down that voice that, like, this is serious. Like, you gotta take this seriously. Or, yeah. And the more I kind of tone that down and allow myself to acknowledge it, be like, oh, yeah, okay. And then just be. And just be with it. And then all of a sudden it's like this playful voice comes in and it's like, yeah, actually, like, this is a temporary human experience. Allow yourself to play with it. Allow yourself to do things that maybe you wouldn't have even thought was possible just because you didn't see somebody do it. Allow yourself to go beyond and go into your imagination and to think about those things because it's beautiful. Like, your mind is so magical. This is where all of the things start to happen. In here, this is where they all start to happen. All of your manifestations, you first have to think about them. Hey, I want that. Maybe somebody told you, hey, yeah, and then it grows. Anthony says, true, when you meditate, observe, and just sit with your thoughts. This is the only game where no one gets out alive, so seize the day. Exactly. Like, everything you're thinking about that's so serious, you're gonna die one day. Do you really think you're gonna think about that when you're dead? Some of you are like, yes, because I might die because of it, and that's okay. Flow through life with Antoinette. Hello. And I think that it's important for us to just have that playfulness, right? And be like, hey, if I'm gonna die, and this is a temporary experience, then really what can I think of? Because a lot of the times, social media and other things, we're just like taking in all of these ideas, right? Maybe waiting for that one thought that's gonna come to our head, and it's gonna be that divine inspiration we're waiting for. But most of the times it actually happens when we allow ourselves. Yes, we have to become like little children to enter the kingdom of heaven, because guess what? The kingdom of heaven is some place so imaginable. Like, it is so full of the fantasy, and it's just so pure. Like, when you use your imagination to think about heaven, and maybe we'll do a meditation, we'll think about heaven together because that would be awesome. But when you use your imagination to think about heaven, what are you doing? You're tapping into the energy of like a playful child. It's beyond this world, right? It's beyond the physical. We take everything in the physical so serious for whatever reason, but we know that heaven is above. Yeah, open your crown chakra, because that's where the opening of, you could say, that cosmic connection, opening to things beyond what we can even comprehend. And when we allow ourselves to open up to understanding that, yes, we can bring heaven on earth, but first we have to stop taking earth so seriously so that we can give space for it to shift, and we can give ourselves space to just be. And it means being okay with not being okay, right? It means being able to acknowledge what's going on in your mind fully, so that you can then give the space for it to grow and to see, what does that best case scenario look like. Like, if I were to take all the problems I have within my mind and within what I'm perceiving in earth, and imagine what that would look like if it was solved or aligned or like perfect, what would that look like? Like, that's the beautiful part. Like, we can do that on a daily basis with every single thought. Like, think on these things, whatever is true, whatever is pure, whatever is like lovely, think on these things, because that is you attuning your vibration to that of God, to that of source, attuning it to heaven, because that's what you're going to perceive more of. And so when these lower energies come, when people say, take this seriously, or this is super, like, really rigid kind of way of thinking, you can allow yourself to, yes, acknowledge that, but like water, just flow around it, through it, engulf it, and then allow it to give more meaning to, in a way, that fantasy imagination that you're having, also knowing that it is as serious as anything else in your mind, because it's all technically mental, okay? It's all, and you can allow yourself to ground down. Everybody has a time when something totally random and unbelievable has happened, and that is when the universe reminds you to trust and release from the structures of this false reality and be free. Whoa, Anthony, well said. I gotta drink to that one. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, I should tell my body right now, Esther, no more allergies, please. I've been taking it too seriously. There you go, body. There you go. But it's so cool. And I'm sorry, making myself laugh. I'm not even sorry. Thank you. All right, thank you. You guys are awesome. So this is the blessing that we have been blessed with, that we are able to bring heaven on earth, because in our mind we know that there's a heaven, and in our mind we know that we have the opportunity to go to heaven, and in our mind lies everything that we need to perceive and to realize what that heaven looks like in every moment. Even the resistance, even the times where we feel like we got to take our mind seriously or avoid something that's going on in there, we can actually use that and leverage it to strengthen our understanding, our attention, and our awareness on this like divine energy. And it's fun. You don't have to take anything so seriously. The more you take something seriously, it's like a wall. It's just blah, 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 blah. And that's like, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. But when you take something just kind of playfully, you have fun with it, it's just like, woo, it just goes straight through. So really, we're not trying to resist any of the resistance. You already know. We're just trying to let it flow through. Ah, that Jesus knows what's up. We got Jesus inside of us. We got his spirit, Holy Spirit, inside of us anyways. And yes, yeah, so the kingdom of heaven is within each and every one of us. That's also why you see many star seeds that are down on earth. God has planted all of his children. He's brought us all here, and then it's our job to ground into earth. We're not like of the world, but we're in the world. So we have to understand that some people are going to take the world really seriously, because are, you know, they're of the world. Like, this is, they take physical reality really seriously. But we're really here just to vibe. Like, vibe with God, because the more that we vibe with God, the more we realize God, the more we connect and communicate and ground into God while we're here on earth. Yes, we ground into the earth, but with this honoring, this love, and this acknowledgement of God, the more, just like a seed, we are going to grow where God has planted us. And then when we grow, it is up to us. Our branches are reaching out. We connect heaven and we bring it back down here on earth with every single thought that we think. And that's why we are kind of seeing a split with the 5D and the 3D in terms of people who are now more realizing heaven in every single moment within their thoughts, because they got the seal of God on their foreheads, and that's what they're bringing awareness to. And then the people that are, again, taking reality super seriously and freaking out because death and war and poverty and all of these things, which are legitimate because, they're of earth. That's a part of the earth experience. But also there's something that transcends that. And yeah, we're all here playing our role. We're all here doing the best that we can and honoring each person, knowing that you do have the keys to unlock the heaven that God has given you. And the more that you do that, the more you'll encourage others as well to unlock and open up to the heaven that God has given them through their existence here on earth. Like, you are a seed God has planted here on earth. Give yourself the opportunity to grow. And when those thoughts come, when they try to block you down, use that as fuel to get stronger. Get stronger in your emotions of joy and peace and love, and just bringing light to the whole situation, because that's what we here for. life is never gonna be like as easy as we probably want it to be, although I would debate it's sometimes so easy. Makes me thankful that we have to work a little bit to value what God has given us in every moment. Okay, let's do a little meditation just to tap into our heart and align our mind with our heart. Allow anything that has been weighing you down in terms of mentally or physically, emotionally, whatever has been weighing you down in a way that you know it's time for you to loosen up your grip on that narrative. It's time to do that. For me, I'm really trying to loosen my grip around this narrative of service and serving others and not knowing how to serve others. Big narrative for me, my friend, and maybe you can share, okay, what's going on in your mind that you keep saying, like, this is so serious. I think I've been taking it so seriously that I'm like hyper focusing on it, and I need to take a step back a little bit, allow myself to just experience life. And so that's what my intention is for this meditation, okay? You know, I don't have to take it so serious, okay? I'm gonna serve the people God put me here to serve. I don't have to know the details. Yeah, okay. Okay. Breathing. Just kind of take a few breaths and ground that in as I breathe. I'm bringing awareness from tailbone, my spine, and I bring awareness all the way up to the top of my head on the top of my inhalation. And I exhale. And take 2 or 3 more breaths right here. Drink my juice real fast. And it is so nice to just feel that air enter into your lungs and say, thank you, God, for this breath. Tapping into that heart space, we can feel our heartbeat. And say, thank you, God, for allowing me to beat at the rhythm of all living creation. Feeling that harmony with all of life surrounding you. When you feel that heartbeat, we're going to make a mental connection, connecting our mind, that's our crown and third eye, and we'll travel down the throat to the heart, and we'll just meet there in the center. And here we're just going to unload whatever in our mind we may be taking really seriously or may feel heavy. We'll take a few breaths here and just breathe into whatever comes up. I'm opening up that heart space with you so that you can just fully allow yourself to give permission and unload anything at all that comes to your heart when you think about what's weighing you down. we take a few breaths to bring ourselves back into center. We'll center in on our heart space for a moment. You may feel that heaviness start to lighten. You can envision a sphere circulating in one direction and another sphere of the same size within that sphere circulating in the opposite direction. And the heavy energy, the energy that is ready to be released, it almost gets fed into the sphere, the center. Oh, you'll just feel it alchemize. Be creative with how you feel it flow and the new purpose it's given. Have fun feeling how that energy is redistributed within your energy body. You can take big breaths using your diaphragm. Breathing deeply to ground in and trust. The energy will be sent to the most optimal area of your energy body for your purpose and mission here on Earth. Now you may take a few moments to share any words to your mind and have fun with them. I'm thinking of purple pickle juice. But for real, take a moment to really stretch your imagination. Exercise this muscle and release expectation as to where your mind goes with this imagination. As you see the intention of strengthening that imagination play out. There's so much energy that I feel just has been transmuted. And the imagination, also, the inner child is definitely having fun. Can drop any expectations and just honor what your inner child is showing you. And trusting that as you continue throughout your life, the imagination that you foster and grow and work with will continue to strengthen your potential to connect with the infinite potentials of the world in ways that many wouldn't even fathom are possible. Gratitude, bringing gratitude to our mind, our God-given mind and body, our soul, our heart, the divine breath of life, and imagination, because imagination is, it's fire. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing meditation with me and joining today's Mindset Monday. I do hope that what we have done today will continue to assist you throughout the rest of your week and timeline in life, so that you can find it easier to make your mind a funner place to be in, that you will enjoy whatever thoughts come your way, and that you will utilize your imagination to better assist you with your God-given mission during this time. And without further ado, God bless you. Thank you again for joining. I appreciate you. I'm gonna drink this juice and then I'll sign off. Yeah, I like if you have any suggestions for future videos with Mindset Monday or anything else, I am definitely tapping more into kind of playful energy, and I want to have fun. I'm only going to be alive so long, and I'm learning that. Oh gosh, I'm learning that. But it's really cool. It's really cool. Like the fact that we can give ourselves permission to have fun on Earth and do things that nobody else has done just because we can. That's pretty cool. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be real family. Yeah, the pollen is real out here, but I'm hoping if I like stay outside long enough, it will I'll be immune to it, Maybe I need to eat some pollen. It's everywhere, so that should be easy. If you have any tips though, let me know. That would be good. But yes, I'm so thankful. Like really every time I feel like, oh no. Yeah, you know what's good, JT. You know what's good. We got pollen everywhere, man. It's the pollen, Anthony. I wish it was tears of joys, but probably when the trees stop doing what they do. And nah, just joking. I'm not stopping them from living their best life. I just gotta tap into having more fun with mine and my allergies, which I am. Yeah. I was gonna say something about boogers, but I stopped myself because I didn't want to be that immature. We are kind of big-ish kids. I don't even think a child would say what I'm gonna say, so I'm not gonna say it. I feel like I need to say it. Alright. Guys ever play with your boogers and like mix it with paint? No, that's fine. That was a gross thing to say. And now that I said it, I have been drinking chamomile tea. I have been tapping a lot more into my inner child to be okay with like feeling a little stuffy and, just kind of taking care of myself and having fun with it. But yeah, all right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've shared too much information to close this off, but it's too late. Hopefully nobody watches to the end. And if you did, good on you. Good on you. Now enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. God